All right. Hey, Rock and Robin Kirby here. We're live at Rockstar Gallery at 5700 Northwest Central. We hope that all of you who are tuning in will come out or tell all your friends to tune in too. We're going to have a show from 1 to 5 today. Vina and I put this together, so say hi.
Hey guys, how are you doing today? Last Sunday of every month, there's art, music, and poetry. So thank you all for coming out and enjoy the show.
So I'd like to introduce Houston's Hot Poets. They're going to do some little poetry for you. Kellyanne Ellis, put your hands together for Kellyanne. She's the one that puts all the poets together every month. Thank you so much for coming, Kelly. I'll turn the mic over to you.
Thank you. This week Hot Poet is featuring Hot for Teacher. We have some Gulf Coast area teachers here with us, and to be a hot poet, you have to be a passionate person and passionate about poetry. And so I'd like to bring up the first hot poet, and that is Susan Bell Summers.
This is a great venue. If you're not here, you better get here. This is fantastic. The music, the art, everything is great, and I'm happy to be here. This is a country cousin, city cousin. She lived in a city near Washington, D.C., and I in rural South Georgia. I was 4, she was 3. I was little, but she was scrawny with the skinniest legs. She took dance lessons. I climbed trees. She was social and talkative. I was a loner and quiet. Her dark brown hair straight and smooth, mine lighter, wilder, tangled. She wore dresses and Mary Janes. I wore shorts and dirty feet. We played Barbies. She asked me to pass her the slacks. I didn't know what slacks were, so I suggested the red dress, which she said was too fancy for shopping at the mall. I didn't know what a mall was. The mall had an escalator. Have you ever ridden an escalator, she asked. You mean elevator, and of course I have. No, an escalator is a moving staircase. Well, that's ridiculous because stairs don't move. Even I knew that. Then she said Lello was her favorite color. I corrected her again. It was yeller, not Lello. I might not know mall or slacks, but I knew my colors, and on this count, she was wrong. I had had enough of her city talk. Grown-ups intervened as I dragged her down the hallway by her shiny hair. We became favorite cousins. And this is called Not My Own. In a long gown and matching robe, just a touch of makeup, I'm beautiful in that moment and a woman. I have birthed a child and he is perfect. I wait for my husband to install the car seat into the old Fairlane Ford inherited from my grandparents. His hands shaking with nervousness. One of the orderlies helps him, and I laugh that an engineer is outdone by a child's car seat. Looking into the most dear face, asleep in my arms in a sailor suit of baby blue and white, everything has changed. This moment separates everything that happened before from the rest of my life. Today and forevermore, I am a mother, remembering my mother's words and understanding them for the first time, not as a curse, but as a blessing. Once you have a child, your life is never your own. And now let's take a little trip to the ocean. This is a passionate poem of the ocean as a lover, landlocked. Your salt musk scent lingers in my clothing, and I remember your abrasive breath wind, crave your heat, the low moan of your voice, taking my words with a demanding shh. I remember how you crushed and tumbled me joyfully, again and again, wave upon wave, overpowered, embraced me, tried to drown me with enthusiastic affection, kept your mysteries hidden in depths and tides, and when I left, so reluctantly, you swept my footprints until no trace of me remained. And this is an acrostic poem based on a photograph of a man looking out a window, and it's called Gaze. A man looks out a window, the kind of man so unpopular these days, an aging white man. I know this man. I'm right here, but he can't see me. He stands vulnerable, naked, fresh from the shower, a towel over his groin, his only defense against a world too well known, a world of war, personal failures, disappointments of his own making. I speak to him, but he won't hear me. What happened to your dreams? Do you remember what they were? Do you remember you had dreams? Maybe he'll put on a uniform, maybe a blue shirt with a company logo stitched with his name stitched in red, or a suit and tie, but he will go to work because he doesn't know what else to do. And this is a villanelle called A Woman's Worth. A woman's worth is not for compromise. Glossy cover girls seem vapid, weak, thin. Where's the value of the woman inside? Virtue is valued less than slender thighs. Can't she ever relax and not pretend that a woman's worth can be compromised? Valiant women face society's lies, yet sometimes harbor shame and pain within. Where's the value of the woman inside? One who guards her words and speaks truth is wise, but people's eyes seek airbrushed perfection, put beauty before worth as compromise. Confident women are not mollified. They won't wait nor fear mistakes they defend. Know the value of the woman inside. The whole mad world is headed for demise as strong women take life's hits on the chin. A woman's worth is not for compromise. A value of a woman lies inside. And now this is my last poem. It's been great being here, and this is to take it all the way Texan. And I didn't start in Texas, but I'm glad to be here, and it was inevitable that I ended up with a cowboy at some point. So this is for Jimmy. And I blame my sister for my questionable taste in men. World Championship bull rider. At the convenience store, he told my sister, "You're the prettiest thing I've seen since I've got to town. Can I follow you home?" And he did. I was 12, drawn by the sound of laughter. I froze in the doorway when I saw him. Big black cowboy hat, long thick mustache, western cut dress shirt, huge silver and gold championship belt buckle, Wrangler jeans, black boots. He was too big for the room, and entertaining my sister and mother with a road story. At the end of the tale, he looked full at me. I braced myself against those dark, penetrating eyes. "And who's this little heifer?" he asked. Well, I didn't know what a heifer was. I hoped it was something wonderful. It sounded so exotic. I was nearly in a swoon. He sat down and told rodeo stories for hours. A couple of months later, much to my shock and dismay, my sister turned down his marriage proposal and discovered he had also asked one of the girls whose daddy owned the ranch where he had been staying and working that summer. Well, he did what cowboys do and moved on to the next town, the next rodeo, and other young heifers in that elusive 8-second ride in the spotlight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan. That was wonderful. So for our next set, we're going to go on a road trip with the Beat Poets on Route 66 with Dom Zucconi.
I guess I need to move this, yeah? Okay. Good. No. All right. Route 66, as many of us know, was famous for one song. It was also the route that everyone took who went west. Some of them took it back. Get hip to this. I woke up to naked stars, dreaming of Rilke's Angels at Route 66, our dream road in pieces. I thought it would be something big, like a hydroelectric dam or the steel mills in Gary. It'd be barrel-chested and stink like tar, dandelions, and the first drag of a cigarette. That dreamy road kept curving, and suddenly there was flat in every direction as far as you could shoot a gun. We kept driving, and it curved down by river flats. Little trees bent down from holding the on, bent over to the river. I swear I could hear Daddy speaking like he never died. Frankie Martaz, the Golden Pollock, took a left hook and gave up boxing. Drinking 7 and 7s at Teeny's, he says, California. Frankie was my godfather. He disappeared in a Bel Air's blue exhaust. The old man and me, top down, roaring St. Louis to Springfield. I wandered in Vachel Lindsay's bedroom where he was born and died drinking Lysol. The old man slept solid. All of Vachel's papers sat in cardboard boxes ready to go. Nowhere. His first retirement, my first real job. Road truth yelled into road noise. He says he never wanted his life to turn out the way it turned out. Only he read it like he was reading map directions. Crossed the Missouri border. Too exhausted to drive to the next town. There was only one room left and they wanted double. We get in the room and Sally opens up this leather case she says she found in her grandmother's attic. It was lined in perfect purple velvet and contained some purple ray gun Sally says were dreamed up by Edgar Crazy or somebody on the radio. It had special pockets for glass combs and applicators for oozing electric ozone into any areas that needed healing. Hell yeah, I said. She turned on that machine and oh, brother. Sudden summertime, blues radio, Phantom 409 dog races. No one wins, only a ghost dime left riding on that American dream highway, thumbing to a golden state. Jack Kerouac took his mother on the bus. He bought her sandwiches and beers at every stop. That's the way the road takes. It leaves. A tired angel in a booth in a cafe, maybe Santa Rosa near Milagro. Maybe next to no place special with good hamburgers. Or it's fallen into that gray, green, brown, that long, empty you know shouldn't belong to anybody. I'm driving it too fast. The old road wears itself hollow like a snakeskin. Vacancies begging at King's Motor Court Inn. Not optimistic or even ironic. It's managed by a blank-faced widow from Mumbai. She rode in backwards with the hearse from L.A. When she looks at the sky over her night of New Mexico, she sees cigarettes glow in an empty bedroom. I see the old man in the olds, looking like he's for sale, driving on that vacation of loneliness to another city nobody needs. We started across that desert late enough. It was already cooling down a little. The road was straight as a string. After a few hours in the dark, Sally says, "Look, stars." I never knew there were so many damn stars. Both of us hung out the windows, driving along 80 miles an hour. I almost hit a truck. I was looking too. Closed fireworks stands, black cats made in the USA, the neon chief nobody knows what to do with. Gangs of old bitch riders on electric glides of almost brokens, having to bring their wives. Just west of Sunrise is a leatherette address book left in a phone booth. Old girlfriends penciled through, no new numbers. Frankie sold the house in San Bernardino for a small fortune. He's back in Ohio. His kid moved out to Amarillo. Anyway, she answered. She had tomatoes growing out back. Remember when that sound of nylon tires made that winter? Whoop, 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 till I got around. I don't think I could fit in a sleeping bag now. My highway is glowing softer, a little visible. Yeah, that's a church with the siding all fallen off. Jesus will like it driving through, just enough to take a couple snapshots. We made it to Barstow, and I'm in a Texaco. Fill up and stretch my legs. I come back from the men's room and I notice the back bumper of the Pontiac is smeared with oil. The kid says, I'm down 1.5 quarts. Put it in. He says he'll put it in, but it won't matter. You're leaking out your valve covers. I think your gaskets are blown. Long story short, I walk into Sears and get hired putting on tires. We move into the Sands and Sally helps cleaning rooms. Wire money. It's 100 degrees here. Oh, come on, Dave, man. Dinner, coffee, White Crosses all the way, corn stubble with curtains of black fields, marijuana deserts, donuts, out-of-business Pyrax. Hell could be just like that. Let's go, man. Please, let me use your car. It was angels backed into that pole. We can drive all the way in reverse. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Dom. That was wonderful. And now we have Carrie Kornacki with something a little more modern. And she's taking us on an odyssey through time and through relationships.
Hello. Good. The first one I'm going to read is called Naming Haiti, Port-au-Prince, 2016. I can feel Haiti, a great pounding in fisted trees, meridian wind, a spit of heat from the mouth of God, a rattle electric in that spirit place. We crash our carry-ons quietly through an outdoor bus station into crowds of dark faces gathered in drifts, fused in hope and despondency. Milky-eyed old men sell bracelets from wrists they cannot see. Young men unroll canvases of mountain landscapes far away from this sprawling city, skin deep in disease. I stand here, bleached pale beneath a tan, breathing the smell of burning rubbish, cooked meat and sweat. Watch swarms of men join with shouts in sunlight, scythe-shaped words unspooling parables, pitch-shifting I cannot paraphrase. Me, a tattered American heirloom, climbing through my fracas of confusion as I search for some unending truth in this geometry of dust and what will be. The second one I'm doing is called Hunger. She sits in fake leather blue, a chair at gate C6, her back to a window. Behind her, sun shines like an overdone egg, whites fading into slate clouds. On the tarmac, a white accordion jet bridge, metal stitched to a slick, cream shiny craft. String of gray thumbprints for windows, tail posing like a girl in stilettos. This ebony woman is high cheekbones, hollow eyes, skin heat-waxed obsidian. She sits still and straight in her smear of inertia, a wood-splitting roux, kinetic crackling, a warren of what is trapped inside. And in her fingers, she holds a piece of hunger, that craving. She stands now and walks away, all of her pouring into white cotton, tendrils of orange flurled, in pastel flames licking at sandaled feet. Walks away like she believes I'm sketching her likeness. trying to hold her soul hostage within the edges of a page. Next one I'm reading is called Metaphors or Mixed Metaphors on Commitment. A black hole with a yellow car chased me on my bike to my perfect man. I was manning then. Sausage and beans on mustard-colored plates, scratchy blues and the way he said things. Then everything got caught in my spokes, and I just fell. So he and I planted a word small as a gnat way down below our rocks. It shot up through fields, white-stamped cumulus dials, the ozone psychosplash, into indelible black and beyond, where hooded angels worshipped it, fed its sons, watered it with silver, combed our promise like tangled hair. Now, some tap the idea of marriage like a rock for water. Stick out mad dog tongues, wait for some luscious elixir. But he and I, we tended our promise like a beanstalk, even on days when we knew we would not climb. Do I have time for this one? Okay. This next one is a very new one called Selling EI's River, or rather, Selling EI's Farm. An auctioneer's voice, high and steady, slices through pines and white fractures, bands of electric light, thick as the hand that touched away my childhood, made me keep a secret. Me now, adult in movie star glasses, wet on skin, my toes sifting through dry titles of soybean sand. And in my cupped, trembling hand, green needles and recollection, not starchy and frail as blossoms pressed between a page, nor nondescript as the shape of an echo, but suddenly bursting undeterred and prints more vivid and numerous than my senses can hold. We bow our heads in Grandma EI's big white kitchen, our mouth our prayers over pink and black formica top table, filled with steaming plates of river-caught perch, fried okra, corn from lemon sun fields, and a bowl of red berries swimming in juice, a tower of white bread waiting for Grandpa's knife and mine thick with butter. As my sister and I, 4 and 5, sit hot and itchy, the smell of our sweat, mosquito bites on knees, chigger bites between ears, the slap of EI's pink fly swatter. Then me on EI's back, my arms around shoulders, my feet in her pockets as we tromp boundless through knee-high corn to these trees where I stand now and listen to a long-ago scream. My grandfather's expletives, the first time we fished, our lines in the maples, stupid girls, what's the matter with you? His boots crushing down spearmint-lined banks of brown silent water. My fist clenched, my back to gravel exploding, a miasma of dust and tires, my EI's brown freckled arms in the farmhouse on the other side of the road. Those rockabye arms that still hold me, lift me out of this vat of everything ending, sparking in and out like a holy nimbus that touches the frame of memory, drowns out the unstoppable, sold of a voice.
Wow. Our next poet is going to take us into the art world, and we're all here for art, so that's what we're looking forward to hearing right now. It's Laura Pena.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. This first poem is called An Afternoon with Cy Twombly in Houston, Texas. I sit in the silent gallery, stare at the canvas, and struggle to read Scrawled words the artist covered up with layers of paint, allowing only a few to emerge from the depths, the birth of melancholy. In the quiet room, I inhale paint fumes still emanating from mushroom caps of red, yellow, pink, purple, and blue. The vivid splotches dominate my eyes. I am in love with this 50-foot-long painting. Say goodbye, Catalyst, to the shores of Asia Minor. I repeat the ghostly words, etch them into my brain. I dissolve into colored whorls and imagine this painting belongs only to me. It's here for me to contemplate whenever I want. Ragged boats float with purpose to their inevitable end at the edge of canvas, myth, and life. I move close until I merge into white sailcloth. My head bursts like the mushroom caps. My hair are the tendrils of paint dripping down the dirty white canvas. Stretch marks on my body become dark pencil lines telling the story of Orpheus. How he risked going into the underworld to retrieve the woman he loved. How he lost faith in the end and turned his head just in time to see Eurydice disappear down the long dark tunnel towards death once more. I hang in the gallery, watching and waiting for the one who will peel away the layers of paint from me to reveal my ghostly words, my myth. And this next poem is inspired by a painting from Frida Kahlo, and it begins with an epigraph of hers as well. It is called The Broken Column, 1944. I am not sick, I am broken, but I am happy to be alive as long as I can paint. My back is useless, but I can paint. I paint the bones grinding to dust inside my body day by day, held together by this cage I wear under my clothes. My eyes on canvas shed the tears my real eyes refuse to do. My hair is black and glossy, thick and beautiful. I paint it loose in the wind. It is the only thing about me that moves joyously as my skin is nailed to this Judas of a body. This next one is called Weightless. It's inspired by Yusaki Ase's installation, Yamatain, which was at the Rice Gallery in October and November of 2014. She stands, splendid creature, at the top of the hill. Strong, slender limbs, long, graceful neck, a head sprouting dozens of antlers. I ask her, how do you support such a burden? Their memories. Each one tells a story, she says. She snaps off an antler and hands it to me. This one is my father. He died without warning when his heart gave out. She snaps off several more. These are my mother, buried in grief, never getting over my father leaving her. I stare at the broken parts of her head. The antlers grow back, she says. When they do, they weigh less because the memories are less painful. This is Scales after Wallace Stevens. The night is a serpent slithering over the breakwaters. It slinks over undulating sands and between your feet. It spreads its shroud everywhere, its engulfing shroud. The sailcloth fastens to your body and is transformed by the skin and teeth of you. The filaments of your eyes tear on the edges of the breakwaters and in the grains of the shifting sands. And I will go ahead and end with this last poem. It's called My Father Dreams, after Lee Young Lee. Tonight, my father, with heavy steps, walks up the stairs in his house and lays the artificial Christmas tree down in the hall. Did he know that would be his last Christmas? If he had known, would he have put the tree away? Would he have spared my mother that extra bit of work? His love for me spills from his eyes when I catch him looking at me. At this hour, what he is dreaming is his last dream, and what my mother is doing is sleeping next to him. Someone tell him my mother will mourn him the rest of her days. My mother rubs the long scar on my father's chest and mentally prepares a list of chores for the next day. She will call me early in the morning, make coffee so it will be ready when I get there. We will ask my father if he wants to go with us to the new exhibit at the Museum of Fine Arts. His love for us is like his patience. At this hour, what he is dreaming and what he is living are his final hours. Someone tell him my mother will mourn him the rest of her days. The EMT, professional yet compassionate, keeps talking. His large, gentle hands press on our shoulders, steadying our terrified hearts, saying a prayer like he has had to do countless times at car crashes, fire-ravaged houses, and shootings. His love for us at that moment feels like a warm compress. At this hour, what my father dreams is peace and sadness as the medics carry his body out of the house. Someone tell him my mother will mourn him for the rest of her days. Thank you so much.
Thank you, hot poets, who also happen to be hot teachers and cool teachers. And we want to thank our guest musician, John Stoll.